In this video, we are going to look at how to solve ratio word problems. So let's get straight into question 1. Here we have a class with 35 students. The ratio of girls to boys in the class was 2 to 5. From this, we need to find the total number of girls and the total number of boys. Okay, first thing I'd start by doing is just drawing a quick little diagram. Okay, so we have the ratio of girls to boys is going to be 2 to 5. Okay, so now we've got that out of the way, let's work out our question. So the way we solve ratio word problems is as this. So here's just a little general process. What we do is we work out how many parts there are in total. So total parts, we do that first. Then what we can do is after we've found how many parts there are in total, I'll explain what that means in a minute, then we find how much one part is worth, and then we use the amount that we got in step 2 to work out, how many parts we actually want. I'm just going to say X parts. Okay, so let's zoom in on our example here. So we have a ratio of 2 to 5. To find the total number of parts, all we need to do is add 2 and 5 together and we'll get 7 parts. Okay, so we know there are 7 parts in total. That's step 1. Step number 2 is to find how much one part is worth. Now we know that in total we have 35 students. What that means is that this 7 parts reflects those 35 students. So therefore we can say, okay, 7 parts is equal to 35 students. So therefore, one part is going to be equal to 35 divided by 7, which is going to be equal to 5 students. Okay? And then from here, we can move on with step 3 and answering our questions, where we can work out the total number of girls and the total number of boys by multiplying how much one part is worth by how many parts we need. So let's go over here. For option A, we have 5 students for one part. For the girls, okay, we have 2 parts for the girls, okay? So if one part is 5 students, 2 parts is going to be equal to 5 times 2, which is going to give us 10 students, therefore we have 10 girls, okay? For part B, total number of boys, we have 5 parts for that one. So to find 5 parts, we go 5 multiplied by 5 parts, which is going to give us 25 boys. So therefore, in total, we have 10 girls in the class and 25 boys in the class there as well. Excellent. Question 2. David and Carol's investment gave a profit of $25,000, which they agreed to split in the ratio 5 to 3. How much is each person's share of the profit? So once again, let's start off with step 1. We need to find how many parts there are. We're told that our ratio of David to Carol's investment, they're splitting the profits in a ratio of 5 to 3 between both of them. Now, in terms of how many parts, we have 5 plus 3 parts, which is going to give us 8 parts in total. We know that 8 parts reflects that 25,000. Therefore, one part is going to be equal to 25,000 divided by 8, which is going to give us 3,125 when we enter it into the calculator. Now that we've found that, let's proceed to find how much 5 parts is worth for David, and then we'll move on to find 3 parts for Carol. So therefore, to find 5 parts, all we need to do is take how much one part is worth, so 3,125, and multiply that by 5. And when we do that, we'll find that our answer, just putting that into a calculator, is going to be 15,625. So that's how much we have for 5 parts. For 3 parts, our answer is going to be, once again, 3,125, how much one part is worth, multiplied by 3. And our answer for that, just entering it into the calculator, is 9,375. So therefore, we can conclude that David gets 15,625 and Carol gets $9,375. Excellent. Now let's move on to our final question, question number 3. This one, we have the ratio of fiction books to non-fiction books in a library is 5:7. We have 240 books in the library in total. We need to find how many fiction and non-fiction books are there. So once again, let's start off. Let's just quickly go fiction to non-fiction. We have 5:7. Total number of parts, 5 plus 7 is going to give us 12 parts in total. 240 books in total, therefore 12 parts represents 240 books. Therefore, not division, therefore 1 part is going to be equal to 240 divided by 12, which is going to give us 20 in total. So 1 part is worth 20 books. Now let's find how much 5 parts are worth. So 5 parts is going to be worth 1 part, so 20 multiplied by 5, which is 100, while 7 parts is going to be worth 20 multiplied by 7, which is 140. So from there, we can conclude that therefore there are 100 fiction books, because fiction books represented 5 parts out of the total 12, and there are 140 non-fiction books, noting that the non-fiction books represented the 7 parts out of the total 12. Excellent. So there we have it. That is how we solve ratio problems. Just a bit of a quick recap in terms of our general process. First of all, we find the total number of parts by adding the 2 numbers in the ratio. Second thing we do is we find out how much 1 part is worth, and we do this by dividing our total number of whatever we have by the total number of parts we've found. And then step 3, we find out how much is represented by the total number of parts that we're finding. In this case, how much 5 parts is worth is how much 7 parts is worth. And we do that by multiplying how much 1 part is worth by how many parts we want to find. And there we have it.